Names that you and I both will remember. And, well, it came out when it was over. Well, a more mature Brawley team defeated a rather young Central Spartan team. Right, John?
Yes, and it was an historical game because this was the final time Brawley and Central both played the double game. They'd play one at the beginning of the year and then, of course, the bell game. And they had done that for more than 40 years, which built up, obviously, a pile of games against. And Central and Brawley have the most games against of any two high schools in the entire nation.
Well, and they ended that, as you pointed out, in 2004. But word is 2021, all of the IVL teams will be playing each other twice. So what was old will become new, at least for this coming year. John, a couple of the names that we're going to be hearing tonight.
Yes, Brawley, very familiar names. Will Torres was a senior linebacker tight end. Quarterback was Justin Baeza, a junior. Jared Cato from the Brawley football Cato family was a sophomore. And then they had a couple of Mohammeds, a Mike and a Marty, who were both juniors. Both played the same position in the defensive end. And then Marty was in running back, defensive end linebacker. Mike, of course, went on and played in the NFL. But the main name was Zay Shepard. He was a senior, and he has to be in the talk for the best football player to come out of the Valley in the last 50 years. He was a tremendous running back and cornerback.
And we will be hearing some of that action coming up. John, are you ready for some football?
Yes, there is a couple names from Central I want to get in if we got a chance. Zach Evangelist was a junior at the time, and Benny Carter was a sophomore on this football team, and that is the Benny Carter who is now the head baseball coach at Holtville High School.
Okay, and that's part of the Lefty Martin line right there.
Yes, it is. And another familiar name, Kenny Taylor. His father and his brother played at Central and came through. And another name that I had totally forgotten about, Joe Signorati's going to get a lot of playing time tonight as a sophomore.
Okay. John, we appreciate it. Let's get ready for the original pregame show coming up. It's classic high school football on AM 1230 KXO. The Brawley Wildcats, the Central Spartans, from October 1st, 2004.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council 2020.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. This is Spartan Warm-Up. It's a look at tonight's matchup between the Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats. The Spartan warm-up is brought to you by Sasta Chevron Service and Food Mart at 4th and the Freeway in El Centro, inviting you to stop in and find out what old-fashioned service is all about. Well, we're going to find out what old-fashioned football is all about. The Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats in a game that doesn't mean a thing. It's a non-league preseason, if you will, matchup between the two teams and doesn't really mean anything. So if that's the case, why is John Bishop in a wheelchair with his leg propped up in a splint following surgery last Saturday for a compound fracture of the leg? You're right. The game doesn't mean much. Anyway, we're glad to see John down there, and a little bit surprised, but he is here for the game tonight. He will not be coaching, it's my understanding, but I would bet you there's going to be some communications between John and John Self, who will be guiding the Brawley Wildcats tonight. The Wildcats and the Central Spartans coming up. We'll have more on our Spartan pregame show, Spartan warm-up, after this for Sasta Chevron Service.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross in El Centro. Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecue chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats at Cal Jones Field in El Centro, but there's other games going on around the Imperial Valley, and taking a look at some of them. Southwest and Santana in San Diego. Santana of San Diego, and the Southwest Eagles on the road again to San Diego to match up against Santana. Calexico and Vincent Memorial High School will meet for the very first time on the football field tonight. And that should be an interesting matchup. Both teams looking to get on the winning ways. And I predict that one of those teams will win tonight and have their first victory of the year. Calexico, a little bit of a rebuilding year. Vincent, well, it's the second year of a rebuilding process. And that should be an interesting matchup in Calexico tonight. Imperial will host Christian High School of El Cajon. That's a team that we met the second week of September. And Imperial and Christian will match up tonight in Imperial. Meanwhile, Holtville and Palo Verde is for real. And they are visiting the Carrot Capital tonight. And will take on the Holtville Vikings. And that could be interesting as well. Calapat, who also is undefeated so far this year, playing a combination 8-man, 12-man, depending on what the other team brings. They are taking on Desert Tech of Arizona, and I'm not sure if that's in Yuma or where it is, but that will be 8-man football with the Calapat Hornets. Last week, it was 12-man football for Calapat against Animo High School out of charter school out of the Inglewood area in Los Angeles. What happened last week? Well, you know what happened. Calapat blitzed Animo 26-0. Southwest picked up their first win of the year. They're 1-3, 29-19 victory over Madison of San Diego. Meanwhile, Brawley blitzed Inglewood 63-12. That moved Brawley to a 4-0 record. Palo Verde over Imperial 41-14. The Tigers 2-1 on the year. Yuma Catholic just dominated Holtville 42-0. And Holtville 1-2 on the year. Ramona blanked Calexico 35-0. That moved the Bulldogs record to 0-4. And Yuma defeated our Central Spartans last week here at Cal Jones Field 27-15. That evened the Spartans record at 2-2. We'll be back with a little bit more on our Spartan pregame show after this for Sasta Chevron Service and Food Mart.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic. The list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
8 Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's the place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, 8 Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and 8 Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats last year, well, it certainly wasn't the Spartans' year as they lost to the Brawley Wildcats twice, 42-0. And 59-0, and the games weren't actually as close as what the scores would indicate. The Spartans much improved over last year. The Brawley Wildcats, I would have to say they are improved over last year as well. Trait of a John Bishop team. The Wildcats bring back the nucleus of last year's team. What I consider one of the finest quarterbacks in the Valley, Justin Baeza. He's a junior. And Baeza can beat you in many different ways. He is getting his second year starting as quarterback for the Wildcats. And he's got Zay Shepard in the backfield. You just hand Zay the ball and watch him go. Shepard, one of the most electrifying running backs we have seen since the days that Gerald Robinson and Geno Martin and Michael Martin ran wild for the Central Spartans. He is that kind of a running back. A combination of size and speed, 5'9", in that 5'9" frame, 180-plus pounds, and just very strong. And that's what you build an NFL running back on. 5'9", 5'10" frame, and pack it with about 200 pounds of muscle, and you've got a running back that is nigh on to impossible to stop. But it doesn't end with Zay Shepard. They've got a couple of other kids that are contributing to this team. Sam Toomer, who is Shepard's half-brother, also will strap it up in the backfield. And as we said, Baeza can beat you a number of different ways. He can beat you running. I don't think he'd really like to do that. He'd just as soon hand it to Shepard and let him do the running. But Baeza can also beat you with his passing. And the mark of a good team, a well-balanced team, is they can come at you both ways. And the running game is always better when you've got a passing game to complement it. And, if you can just key on the running game, you got a chance of stopping it. If you have to also contend with a passing attack, well, then things get a little bit different, a little bit more difficult. And then throw in a John Bishop, actually a John Self defense, and you're going to have trouble scoring points. So far this year, Brawley has beaten San Marcos 47-7, Indio 48-7. They blew away H-Town Academy, in a game that was called in the third quarter. Last week, just obliterated Inglewood, traveling. No, Inglewood was in the Valley for that game. It's my understanding, but just blew away Inglewood, and they have done that with the electrifying offense, but the offense has only had to go 30 or 40 yards at a crack to get the points because the defense gives them such great field position. And you can hearken back to the days of Cal Jones. I don't think Cal cared so much what the offense was doing because his defense was going to beat you, and his defense would put points on the boards and give the offense a very short field of just 20 or 30 yards to work with. And so maybe yardage numbers, total yards for the offense aren't huge because they don't have very far to go. That's been the case for the Brawley Wildcats so often this year. We'll take another quick break for Sasta Chevron Service and Food Mart, and then we'll be right back with more.
For the past months, El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial has been offering curbside pickup, and they will continue until they are able to open indoors. You can still get your favorite Mexican food, like special quesadillas, carne asada and pollo asada burritos, taco plates, and more. In fact, their menu is huge, and the food is outstanding. To place your order, call El Zarape Restaurant at 760-355-4435. That's 355-4435. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Curbside pickup only.
There is nothing better than great customer service. Company that can help you with your projects, answer your questions, and provide you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Trusted Lumber Company in Imperial takes pride in doing just that for the homeowner or contractor. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Trusted Lumber carrying hardware supplies from lumber, concrete, windows, and doors to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today, 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
The Central Union Adult School is ready to support your adult learning goals. We are the first choice for adults seeking to complete their high school diploma or wanting to learn English. We offer the GED, the High School Equivalency Test, and our own high school diploma program. Contact our office for registration information, 760-312-7050, or look us up online and on Facebook. Well, the Central Spartans, as we said, much improved over last year. Their 2-2 record, two teams beat them that they could have beaten, given a break or so. And I think part of this is the Spartans are going to have to learn how to win. And they have the desire, and I think they have talent, and they have to learn how to win. And that means putting away the opponent when you have them, not giving up a big play, which was bugaboo last year, much more so than this year. And, these are the areas that they're going to have to develop. They have to be able to step out on the field thinking that they can win. If you step out on the field and don't think you can win, don't bother to show up. You're not going to do yourself or anybody else any good. The Spartans, a lot of stability in their both offensive and defensive lineup so far this year. And that is perhaps due to excellent conditioning because they've really had nobody go down with injuries. Stephen Singh, the sophomore quarterback, has shown flashes of brilliance. I think he's still learning how to play this game, and we have seen improvement most every week. Sean Sellers continues to impress. He is a 5'8", 200-pound fullback/tailback. He'll beat you inside. He can beat you outside as well. Kenny Taylor, the junior running back, adds the outside threat, the breakaway threat. Benny Carter with another breakaway threat, and Carter is just a sophomore. Can the Spartans beat you with a pass? We don't know yet. We really don't know yet. That is something that remains to be seen. You've got two enticing targets with Matt Bentley and Art Reyes. And can you get them the ball? Well, that's what remains to be seen as to whether that passing attack can work. On the defensive side of the football, Bentley and Reyes anchor the defensive line. And Peter McDonald, another one of those super softs, has come on strong, as has Armando Ponce. And their linebackers have also been very active. Zach Evangelist, the junior, is the defensive captain, calls the plays, and is a leader on the field. And he's got James Bentley, Lamont Sellers, and Sean Sellers there in the linebacking core with him. And some interchangeable parts. The Spartans able to substitute pretty freely, both offensively and defensively, without losing much, and that keeps their players fresh. It'll be the Central Spartans, the Brawley Wildcats, in a non-league matchup between these two teams. Doesn't mean anything. That's why there'll be about 6,000 people here for the game tonight, and it should be a good one. I anticipate it will be a bit closer than what both games were last year between these two teams. That'll do it for Spartan Warm-Up. Spartan Warm-Up brought to you before every Spartan football game by Brian Sasta and the crew of Sasta's Chevron Service and Food Mart, 4th and the Freeway in El Centro. We want to welcome Ruben back. Ruben, good to see you again. Ruben was down and out for a little bit, but he's back and keeping things under control. Nights at Sasta Chevron Service. Stay tuned. Exciting Spartan Football 2004 is coming up next on AM 1230 KXO El Centro.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
This is Spartan Football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO.
Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450. For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross in El Centro.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Taking a look at the Spartan starting lineups, it'll be Matt Bentley and Art Reyes defensively on the ends, Armando Ponce and Peter McDonald in the middle. The linebackers, Sean Sellers, James Bentley, and Zach Evangelist. Bentley is sophomore, Evangelist a junior, Sellers a senior. Johnny Cesena, Benny Carter, Justin Sanchez, and Robert Rodriguez are in the defensive secondary. And we'll have the offensive starting lineups for you coming up in just a minute. But first, this timeout.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic. The list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
There is nothing better than great customer service. Company that can help you with your projects, answer your questions, and provide you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Trusted Lumber Company in Imperial takes pride in doing just that for the homeowner or contractor. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Trusted Lumber carrying hardware supplies from lumber, concrete, windows, and doors to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today, 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
For the past months, El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial has been offering curbside pickup, and they will continue until they are able to open indoors. You can still get your favorite Mexican food, like special quesadillas, carne asada and pollo asada burritos, taco plates, and more. In fact, their menu is huge, and the food is outstanding. To place your order, call El Zarape Restaurant at 760-355-4435. That's 355-4435. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Curbside pickup only.
Taking a look at the Spartans starting offensive lineup, it'll be Art Reyes and Matt Bentley on the ends. For the most part, both of them in tight. Ruben Marquez and Josh Saucier are the tackles. Saucier getting the start. The sophomore, 6'2", 265. Erwin Medina and Armando Ponce are the guards. Zach Morton, the anchor, the center. 5'11", 245. He is a senior, and he is involved in most everything that's going on the field on the offensive side. Steven Singh, the sophomore quarterback, 5'8", 150. Sean Sellers, Kenny Taylor, and Benny Carter will line up in the backfield, sometimes in a triple stack I, sometimes in the double stack I. The three of them are basically interchangeable, and usually you'll see Anthony Platero as a wideout for the Spartans. But as we mentioned, a lot of consistency in the Spartans starting lineups, offensively and defensively. And that is a good thing, as they are keeping everything together. Let's take another timeout, and we'll be back with a kickoff after this.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecued chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats in a preseason matchup. John Driffel, last year, I won't say it was embarrassing, but it wasn't fun. 42-0 in the first game, 59-0 in the second game. Spartans much improved this year, as we mentioned. Brawley's improved as well.
This is probably the best John Bishop coach football team that Brawley's had. John's been there 10 years, and looking across the way, we see that John is sitting there in the wheelchair. He's got the leg all propped up, and he's got 3 or 4 bodyguards standing around him. Those bodyguards are faculty from Brawley Union High School, so I guess John's probably going to stay right there, and those guys are going to stay in front and make sure if anybody comes running that way that they'll keep them from crashing into Coach Bishop. We certainly expected him to be here, and he is, and this is his best football team by his own admission that he's had.
Well, watching them the last couple of years, I'd have to say the same thing. And it's a pretty good balance of football players as well. Juniors and seniors, and obviously the Brawley Wildcat JV team also loaded with a lot of talent.
Yes, Coach Bishop has built the program since he moved over from Calapat back in the early 90s. And this is his program, and he deserves all the accolades and credit for it. Coach John Self Jr., his father, John Self Sr., is a former coach from Poway over in San Diego, which is a big division of football. And as a matter of fact, John Self Sr. at one time hired Frank Andruski, former assistant coach here at Centro 2 years ago. And so there is a connection in the Valley with Central and Coach Self. Now his son has taken over the reins as a defensive coordinator and done an excellent job. As a matter of fact, John Self Jr. had applied for the position at Southwest 2 coaches ago and was in line to be given that position, but at the last moment decided against it. So he is an excellent coach, not at that time not quite ready to move up to the head coaching position. We'll see if in the near future he does accept a position at another high school, or if he stays at Brawley where they're having all the success that anyone could expect and hope for.
Well, it'll be John Self running the team tonight, and as I said, I wouldn't be surprised that there's a little bit of input from John Bishop, but I think John Bishop has a tremendous amount of confidence in Mr. Self and the other coaches, and is probably going to be happy to just let them do their thing. The Spartans will kick off. Deep to receive, Derek Barkham, and also back there, I believe that's Sam Toomer. They are standing back on about the 5-yard line. The Spartans are set to kick off, and doing the kicking for the Spartans will be Art Reyes. And that's another aspect of the Spartan game that has improved a little bit from last year, the kicking aspect. Reyes kicks it on the ground. It'll bounce down and go out of bounds at the 30. So that'll immediately mean a flag. And I think some of that is kicking it on the ground. I don't think he necessarily wanted to kick it out of bounds, but by kicking it on the ground, wanting to keep the Wildcats from lighting things up with a big return. They'll mark the ball on the 35. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats. Justin Baeza, the junior, will bring them out. It'll be Zay Shepard in the backfield. Will Torres will be one of the ends. Coming out wide on the right is Barkham. Also in the slot to the right is Sam Toomer. Single setback, that is Zay Shepard. Spreading things out, the handoff is to Shepard. There's a fumble, and the Spartans say they have it. What do the officials say?
Well, they say 2nd down, so this ball is going to be retained by Brawley.
Baeza got on the ball. It was Baeza sticking the ball in the side of Shepard, not into his gut, and it was free. And fortunately for the Wildcats, Baeza fell on it. It's a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 37. Toomer and Shepard in the backfield. Handoff is to Shepard. No, the handoff, it was the option, and it was Baeza keeping it, and he's driven back to the 34-yard line. On the tackle, Art Reyes, and that's a loss of 4. Benny Carter also coming in.
As what happened on the previous play, when you run the option, the quarterback sticks the ball in the back's stomach, but he has the option of pulling it back, and so Baeza did not have a good handoff, and he tried to pull it back, and that's how the ball got hung up on Shepard's hip, and it ended up on the ground.
Toomer and Shepard in the backfield, 3rd and 12. Baeza back to pass, looking downfield, looking for Barkham. Got him in the flat. It's complete at the 42, out to the 45, down the sideline, and out of bounds at the 45 is where they say he went out. And it's very close to a 1st down, and it depends on where the spot's going to be. It's going to be short of the 1st down. It's going to be 4th and inches.
And Brawley does bring out the punt team, but there we saw the aspect of Brawley, which is something they haven't had in the previous years, and that's the excellent passing of Baeza. Baeza only a junior, but he is the best passing quarterback they've had since the late 90s with Mitchell Reese.
I think that's what makes him as good as he is he can beat you on the option, running it himself, handing it off, or passing it. Snap is back, the kick is away. It's a wobbly kick that will bounce at about the 35 and take a Spartan bounce all the way back to the 42-yard line. Spartans will put it in play on their own 42-yard line. Excellent field position. Following the short punt, that's a punt that netted, about 12 yards, John?
Yeah, about 12 yards on the punt, and actually most of that was bouncing back. It was about a 25-yard punt, but it bounced back about 13 yards. So I know why Brawley kicked the ball away. Coach Bishop doesn't want to give field position here. Plus, he has a tremendous amount of confidence in his defense. So we'll see now if that confidence is going to be sustained.
I formation. Taylor the up back. Sellers the deep back. Singh hands off to Sellers. Sellers into the middle of the line. Probes down to about the 45-yard line. That's a pickup of 2.
And we saw on Brawley's first play do exactly what everyone in the stadium expected, and that would be Zay Shepard running the football. And tick for tat, we saw Centro run exactly what everyone in the stadium expected, and that was Sean Sellers on the first carry.
Coming into the game for the Spartans, Lamont Sellers. He will come out wide on the left. It is 2nd and 8. Handoff is to Carter. Carter carries it down to about the 46-yard line. So it's a gain of a yard, a little bit more. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Just a straight handoff inside tackle to Carter, trying to catch Brawley on a quick hitter. And Brawley, not a whole lot of size on the defensive line. They're certainly not small by any counts, but not all that big either compared to schools in San Diego. But they are extremely quick. And they do have the 2 cousins, Mohammed, both Mike and Marty in the defensive backfield, and those are very good ball players. They close quickly on the football.
3rd and 7. Handoff is to Sean Sellers. Sean Sellers bulldozes his way down to the 49-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th at about 5. And we would expect to see the Spartans punt on this. Stephen Singh does drop back. Deep to receive the expected punt, Sam Toomer and Derek Barkham.
And Central will do well to kick the ball away from both players. Barkham, we already saw what he can do on catching the sideline pass, and we remember Toomer last year as a sophomore returning punts and kickoffs for touchdowns.
On 4th and 5, the snap is back. Singh gets it away. It's a boomer. High kick. It'll bounce at the 25 and be down by the Spartans at about the 26-yard line. Heads-up play there by Matt Bentley, but then why does that not surprise me? Matt Bentley has played heads-up for a couple of years for the Central Spartans. Spartan football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Spartan football brought to you by KFC, where they do chicken right. It's finger-licking good. The Wildcats, on their 2nd possession of the evening, will bring out Zay Shepard and Sam Toomer in the backfield. Now, that's not Sam Shepard, that's Marty Mohammed with Shepard. And Mohammed gets a handoff. Mohammed across the 40 to the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's Marty Mohammed. And Mohammed is finally brought down by Matt Bentley. Big gain. It was Shepard and Mohammed in the backfield.
Again, Brawley showing the versatility that they have with all these backs. And Central loaded up trying to stop Shepard, and so they just bellied the ball to Mohammed, and he hit the hole quickly and was able to pick up 20 yards in the first down of the ball game.
It is 1st and 10 from the Wildcats' 46-yard line. Barkham in motion, handoff up the middle, and again it's Marty Mohammed. Mohammed is a big running back. He's got more power at 5'11", 185. And that's a gain of 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Brawley now just trying to exploit the middle of Central. Central following whichever way Zay Shepard seems to be leaning, and that's leaving a hole right up the middle.
Shepard and Marty Mohammed in the backfield. It's Shepard. Shepard off tackle. Big hole. Loses the football. It's picked up by Mike Mohammed on a beautiful bounce. I'd rather be lucky than good, and Mike Mohammed definitely lucky, and were the Wildcats, is the ball was popped loose on a very big hit on Zay Shepard and hit the ground and bounced right into the hands of Mike Mohammed, and Mohammed picked up the first down.
Right, again, very fortunate break for Brawley. Second time Shepard has fumbled. He's carried the ball twice, and he's fumbled twice. And Centro really putting the leather on to Shepard.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats from the Spartan 42-yard line. Baeza hands off a little counter play at Sam Toomer, and the ball is free again, and again the Wildcats cover it. Third time they put the ball on the ground, which is, it's a characteristic of an option team, but these aren't during the running of the option. They're kicking the football while they're running with it.
It's not during pitches or not during, handoffs and belly plays, except the first one. That time, another big hit on Sam Toomer. And once again, Mike Mohammed was able to pick the football up and gain 5 yards.
3 fumbles for the Wildcats, and they have retained all 3 of them. It is 2nd and 6 on the option. Pitch back to Sam Toomer. Toomer down the far sideline. He'll streak into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yes, what you had was great option quarterbacking by Justin Baeza. He faked the ball to Shepard, and most of the Central defense went after Shepard. And then when Shepard didn't have the ball, Baeza sprinted out to the left, and he pitched the ball to Toomer going down the sidelines. And Shepard came back and laid a block on Sean Sellers out there, and that took him out of the play, and then Toomer was able to go in and touch for the touchdown. Excellent ball fake and ball control by Justin Baeza on the quarterback pitch.
And he got a serious hit out of it, which is what you do to an option quarterback. You hit him every time the ball is snapped.
Yes, but nothing dirty about it.
No. I mean,
legal hit. But you're right. Justin Baeza had to be helped up, and he trotted off the field. But he took a lick. But he'll exchange the points for that lick anytime.
Point after attempt is up, and it is good. So, with 6:02 to play in the first quarter, it's Brawley 7, Central nothing.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. We're halfway through the first quarter, and the Brawley Wildcats lead at 7-0. That despite the fact that they have played free and loose with the football, putting it on the ground 3 times, been fortunate enough to recover it themselves all 3 times. And, that means they're hungrier. They wanted the football a little bit more, I guess. The one was a fortuitous bounce right into the arms of Mike Mohammed. But the other 2, they got down in the dirt and recovered it.
Yeah, it's certainly a sign of things going your way when you pick up 15 yards on 2 fumbles. Usually if there's a fumble, it's in your backfield, and if you do retain possession, most of the time it's not even for positive yards. But they picked up 10 and 5 yards on the last 2 fumble recoveries, so they just kind of moved the football down the field until that last 37-yard run by Sam Toomer.
It will be the Wildcats kicking off. The kick is deep, and we'll go into the end zone for a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans on their own 20-yard line. Chris Compass just kicked it into the end zone. You don't worry about a return when you put it into the end zone in high school because it's an automatic touchback. You take it 1st and 10 on the 20. Spartan football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO. Hey, the Imperial Irrigation District will exchange your old outdated torchiere lamp for a new energy efficient one. Yeah, next week, next Saturday. We have details on that coming up. 1st and 10 Spartans. Stephen Singh brings them out. Sean Sellers, Kenny Taylor in the backfield. Handoff to Sellers. Sellers a little bit of a gap and exploits it for about 2 yards, but it closed very, very quickly. James Pope closed in and shut it down. And Pope closing from the safety position, but it opened, and as quick as it opened, it closed.
Well, probably showing their defensive quickness. We've already mentioned Will Torres goes both ways. He's an excellent football player. Both Mohammeds are in there, and they also have another outstanding inside linebacker, and that's John Hernandez.
On a counter play, the handoff deep to Kenny Taylor. Taylor trying to get outside. He won't go anywhere. He is hit and dropped at the 15-yard line. On the tackle for the Wildcats, James Pope one more time.
And that was an excellent stop by Pope. He did exactly what you're coached and instructed to do. Is that he just held his position. He zeroed in on Kenny Taylor's stomach. Taylor tried to put some moves on him, and Pope would have none of it. And then he grabbed a hold of Taylor around the thighs, not high, not low, and was able to hang on and bring him down.
Ball is on the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 14. I would expect we might see the Spartans' first pass attempt of the night. From the I formation, Stephen Singh takes the snap from Zach Morton. And on the counter play, hands it off to Kenny Taylor. Taylor has a little bit of running room out to the 24-yard line before he is brought down. Some downfield blocking by Matt Bentley and Ruben Marquez. And that got him about 9 yards. Unfortunately, he needed 14. So it will be 4th and 5 for the Spartans. The Wildcats will drop Barkham and Toomer deep again. It'll be Singh standing on about his own 10-yard line. Needs another good punt. His first punt was excellent. Snap is back. Gets it away. High booming punt again. It'll bounce at the 45 and take a Spartan bounce down to the 32-yard line before it's down there. Excellent play. Erwin Medina downfield on the coverage. And that'll put the Wildcats back at the 32-yard line, their own 32-yard line. Another excellent punt by Stephen Singh.
And Singh picked up about a 12 or 13-yard hop on that punt. Brawley showing a lot of discipline. Tuma was over there, but instead of trying to field the ball on the bounce, which is a very dangerous thing to do, he wisely moved away from the ball, and Brawley will just go ahead and take the negative yardage on the bounce, feeling that they can get it back as they take on offense now.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 32-yard line. Baeza, split backs, hands off, first back through. That's Zay Shepard. Shepard across the 45 to the 50, stays on his feet to the 45 to the 42-yard line. Zay Shepard, he is fast, better yet, he is quick, and he had the hole. Ethan Schock and Isaac Alvarado opened it up, and Shepard hit it immediately.
Justin Sanchez with a touchdown-saving tackle, and he was helped out by Johnny Cesena, but Sanchez is the one that brought him down, or that would have been 6 points.
Jodan Cameron, the center, over the football. Justin Baeza behind him. Split backs. Shepard and Toomer on a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. On the option, Shepard gets the football. He is met at the line of scrimmage and driven back on the tackle, Armando Ponce. And Ponce, 5'8", 220 pounds, drove Zay Shepard back about 8 yards. They say forward progress at the 43-yard line. So to bring up 2nd and 12.
Shepard not used to being thrown behind the line of scrimmage. That's his second negative yards tonight carrying the football. Now he'll pick up much more than that, but he's just not used to being tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Central doing a good job.
Nobody got a pad on Armando Ponce. 2nd and 12. Handoff. It is the option. Pitch back to Toomer. Toomer cuts it in, then turns it across the middle, across the green. Toomer will go all the way. Toomer into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of this first quarter. Toomer ran it in from 43 yards out. Again, excellent blocking. And then Toomer, recognizing the lane, cut it across the green and took it into the end zone from 43 yards out.
Justin Baeza absorbing the hit as he pitched the ball right at the opportune time. It's a dangerous pitch. It flooded out there. Toomer barely able to collect the ball. So one of those, if you make the play, it's going to go. And if you don't, it could be a turnover.
Kampa's kick is up. Kampa's kick is good. With 2:35 to play in the first quarter, it is Brawley 14, Central nothing.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross in El Centro.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic. The list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Ayton Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's a place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, Ayton Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
Zehu. It's all Sam Toomer tonight in the first quarter anyway. Toomer with 2 big touchdown runs has accounted for both of the Wildcats' touchdowns here in the first quarter. And the Wildcats running that option play to perfection. Toomer getting the blocks at the line of scrimmage and then downfield as well. And what was remarkable was he cut it across the green. And there were no blocks in the back, no clips. Everybody played it straight, and that is not always the case when you're running across the green. Now there's a flag. I think it's a delay of game call against the Wildcats.
Brawley was over there talking to Coach Self, trying to get it figured out how they're going to kick the ball off, and they just took a little bit too much time. Although, as you said, Shepard Who or Zay Who on the 2 touchdowns run by Sam Toomer, but you know football well enough to realize that if Zay Shepard wasn't out there, then Toomer would not have all of the open space. That Central's defense is obviously keyed on Shepard, and it's shown up, and it'll show up in the stats. But Brawley doesn't care about individual stats. They care about the scoreboard, and right now they're leading.
So Compass will kick off from the 35. It's another boomer that'll be fielded on the fly at the 10, out to the 15, to the 20. It's Kenny Taylor. Hit, bounces off, stays on his feet, gets back to the 20, but there's a flag on the play, and I think that's going to cost him half the distance to the goal line.
Yeah, I believe Central's going to get a block in the back, and Sam Toomer's helping the referee by pointing who was the young man that he felt blocked him in the back. One of those unfortunate things, just a player trying to do his best. Taylor took the ball, running full speed. Looked like he might have a lane to pick up some yards as Brawley running from 5 yards deeper, but they close quickly. And this is going to put Central in a very precarious position back near their goal line.
So it'll be spotted right on the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans from their own 10-yard line. Steven Singh brings them out. Spartans trail 14-0 here in the first quarter. I formation. Sean Sellers, the deep back. Handoff goes to the first back through. That's Kenny Taylor, and he is whacked. Boy, the Sopranos would have been proud of John Hernandez on that one. Will Torres also. He picks up about 3 yards, but the Wildcats close very, very quickly. Holes open, and then just shut down immediately.
Yeah, Centro showing that they're blocking to the line of scrimmage, but Brawley playing 3 down linemen and then 4 linebackers and a stand-up cornerback close. They're able to close rapidly, and a lot of that's their athletic ability as well. They're just closing to the ball.
2nd and 7. Singh hands off to Kenny Taylor. Taylor tries the right side, out across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. It should bring up a 3rd and 3. Mark it on the 18, 3rd and a long 2. Spartans and the Wildcats from Cal Jones Field in El Centro. I'm Carol Buckley. With me, John Driffel. Matt Juleson is providing technical assistance in the booth. And our producer-engineer in the studios, Flor Gonzalez. You're listening to Spartan Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. 3rd and 2 from the I. Spartans. Handoff, and that's going nowhere. Handoff to Sean Sellers, and Sellers will lose 2. He's hit by Adrian Arce and is pushed back. That'll bring up a 4th and about 4. And Steven Singh getting a real workout punting tonight.
Yeah, this will be his 3rd punt in this first quarter. And so far he's been able to keep the ball away from both Barkin and Toomer. And we would certainly expect him to do that again.
He stands back on his own goal line. Snap is back, under a rush, gets it away. It's another boomer. And Toomer fields it at his own 48-yard line, gets a block from Barkham, carries it to the 45, and then is pushed back and dropped at the 48-yard line. Good heads-up play there by the Spartans. And in on the tackle, Erwin Medina again.
Medina, nice open field tackle. Toomer tried to put a move on, and just like Brawley shown, Medina showed his fine coaching as he just stood there, followed his technique, stayed low, and as soon as Toomer turned into him, he wrapped him up and, being the stronger man, pulled him down.
About a 5-yard return. Barkham is wide on the right side. In the slot is Marty Mohammed. Also on the right, single setback, Zay Shepard on the 1st and 10. Somebody's uncovered over here, but the handoff goes to Shepard up the middle, bounces off one tackle, bounces off a second tackle, gets a block downfield. There's a flag on the play. It's going to come back as Shepard goes into the end zone.
And believe it or not, Carol, the player that's going to get called for blocking in the back is Justin Baeza. So he showed his desire, helping out his buddy Zay Shepard. After handing the ball off, no fakes, just a straight belly dive, he followed the play downfield, and he actually clipped Johnny Cesania in the back. And so whether or not they call it a clip or block in the back, this one's going to come back from the 25. They'll move it back 10 to 15 yards.
Well, and it was his 2nd block downfield. He had already thrown 1 block downfield and was setting up on the 2nd one on Cesania when he got turned around and hit him in the back.
And the call was right away. It was immediate. Baeza grabbed, helmet with both hands, so he knew what the call was going to be. This will be enough for a 1st down.
Shepard bounced off of Ricky Viesca, and Viesca paid the price. Viesca goes about 155. That's the signal for the end of the first quarter, and play is stopped on the field, and we'll take a timeout. At the end of the first quarter, it is Brawley 14, Central nothing.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
Ayton Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's the place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, Ayton Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats. Wildcats lead at 14-0 here as we're getting ready to start the second quarter. The Spartans highlights have to be the 3 punts by Stephen Singh.
Defense, they actually have not played that poorly. They've really bottled up Shepard, and the one that they're having trouble with is Sam Toomer.
It is 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Handoff is to Marty Mohammed, across the 35 to about the 33-yard line before he is pushed down. So it's a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And people from Brawley feel that Mohammed is the toughest inside runner that they've had since Kurt Rubin about 5 years ago, which is saying quite a bit. Kurt, excellent football player, got off the football extremely quick, as does Marty Mohammed.
Well, as I recall, Kurt Rubin was on the field for every play. Offensively, defensively, all the special teams, did all the kicking, everything else. Split backs in the backfield, Mohammed and Shepard on a 2nd and 8. Baeza hands off to Shepard. Up the middle, big hole. There's nobody near him. Gets a block downfield, makes one cut, and goes into the end zone for the score. Oh, now there's a flag. After the play is over, somebody's talking
well,
on
it's
the
a celebration
field.
by Zay Shepard. When he got to about the 5-yard line, he was raising his arms up like you see them do on all the NFL games and on sports and all that. So he was sticking his arm up, not really taunting anybody, just trying to style himself into the end zone. So the touchdown's good, and now here's the unsportsmanlike called against Zay Shepard. So this will make the PAT a little more interesting as they'll move it back 15 yards. That is Shepard's first score of the night, and that will now move him to 114 points on the year, which leads the state of California in all divisions or levels of high school football with 114 points. Not only does he lead, but the next closest player is more than 20 points behind.
It'll be a point after attempt from the 25-yard line, which means it's a 35-yard kick. The Wildcats have to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout before the extra point is kicked or attempted. And with 11:06 to play in the second quarter, it is Brawley 20, Central nothing.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic. The list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Now this will be an attempt for 2, as they don't want to try a 35-yard point after attempt. So they'll line it up at the 17-yard line.
Actually, this would be good practice to go ahead and let your kicker kick it, because maybe somewhere down the road you're going to need a 35-yard field goal to beat somebody.
Single setback, and that's J.R. Carrillo.
Who is the son, of Johnny Carrillo, who played about 18 years ago here for Brawley.
Baeza puts Marty Mohammed in motion. This is a point after attempt, looking for 2. Back to passes Baeza. He's firing it into the middle of the end zone, and Derek Barkham makes the catch. Barkham beat the coverage of Johnny Cesena and makes the catch for the 2-point conversion. With 11:06 to play in the first half, it is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross and El Centro.
Eaton Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's a place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, Eaton Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and Eaton Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience. Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Tonight's game originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Spartan Football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Wildcats are leading at 22-0. After the first 6 minutes of the game, the Wildcats had put it on the ground 3 times. But since then, not only have they held on to it, but they have been able to pretty much run it at will downfield.
Yeah, put it in the end zone 3 times.
Chris Campos will do the kicking. Another deep kick. It'll be Kenny Taylor fielding it at the 8 and fakes the reverse. Has a lane down the far sideline. He's at the 30, the 40, the 50, cuts across field. He's at the 40. At the 35, down to the 31-yard line as Lamont Sellers carried it. Was that Lamont or was that Kenny? That was Kenny Taylor. That was Kenny Taylor that carried it. Sellers was downfield blocking. And Kenny Taylor found the seam down the far sideline and finally gave the Spartan faithful something to cheer about.
Well, Will Torres was back as a safety, and he had the angle, and that turned Taylor back inside. But Sean Sellers laid a block, what's called a decleater. He planted some Brawley player, hit him so hard that he actually came off the ground with both feet.
1st and 10 Spartans from the Wildcat 31. Sean Sellers right up the middle. Sean Sellers picks up 8. Right into the heart of the Brawley defense. That's the first success the Spartans have had tonight.
And that block by Sellers has seemed to fire up the Central offense because, again, that's just power football. They lined it up, handed the ball in between tackles, and Sellers laid a hit. On the tackle once again was Will Torres coming across. But that block on that return was something to see.
Sean Sellers has about 30 pounds on Will Torres. Handoff. Sean Sellers hit, spins, and he'll lose about a yard. But he did the right thing. He got hit behind the line and spun. Kyle Kortson in on the tackle.
Tried to spin away and get positive yards. Not able to do it on that, so that'll bring up 3rd and about 4. But that time Central faked the handoff, and Brawley seemed to bite. They were going after the player that had attempted to fake the handoff and thought he had the ball, and that gave Kenny Taylor a lot of field across the way, and he turned upfield, made a nice return.
From the eye. Benny Carter, the up back. Sean Sellers, the deep back. Handoff is to Benny Carter. The sophomore hit inside, bounces outside, gets it down to about the 24-yard line, so he picks up a yard. It'll be 4th and about 3.
We would expect Central to at least consider going for this. I think they probably will. Down 22-0 here early in the second quarter. 4th and about 3.
Well, it's definitely too close to punt it. And I think it's too far for the field goal. So on 4th and 3, you're going to go for it.
And that's exactly what they're going to do, as Stephen Singh has called the play.
And I wouldn't be totally surprised if we didn't see a little bit of play action in the middle with a little bit of a rollout or bootleg action trying to pick it up on a pass. Play action. The handoff is to Sean Sellers. Sellers finds a hole and gets it down close to the first down. Very close to the first down.
Yeah, he did not get a favorable spot. It was a spot right about where he went down. And this is going to be very, very close. It looks like from our vantage point
it is a first
down.
down.
The first down, and he does.
Sean Sellers is listed at 5'8", 200 pounds. The 5'8" part is right. The 200 pounds, he may be a little bit bigger than that, John. And he's got a good, solid, low center of gravity. And he's a tough one to bring down unless you get him low. The Wildcats, for the most part, are far and away the best defensive team we have seen this year, and they're hitting him low, but he's getting a little bit of that extra yardage. Benny Carter, the up back. Handoff is to Benny Carter. Carter struggles forward for about a 2-yard gain, down inside the 20 to about the 18.
Benny Carter, some tough sledding, but kept his feet pounding, kept his knees turning, was able to pick up 2 yards. The thing about Brawley's defense, that they always play physical, but this year, their quickness really is astonishing. They always put 3-4 players on the football, it seems like every play.
Carter and Taylor are the I backs. Carter, the up back. Kenny Taylor, the deep back. Somebody jumped, and that'll come back. That'll cost them 5.
And this is the first penalty from scrimmage. We've had a block in the back on a return and so on, delay of game, but that's the first motion penalty of the night.
And the Spartans, for the most part, have been error-free this year. They have been remarkably well-disciplined.
Now we do look for a pass here. You've got 2nd and long, and about on the 23-yard line, so we would expect
2nd and
something.
13.
Some kind of pass, or at least play-action pass, perhaps a rollout.
Bentley wide on the right side. Platero is wide on the left side. From the I, handoff is to Kenny Taylor. Taylor breaks 1 tackle, then carries it down to the 20-yard line. Taylor picks up about 4. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
And we've mentioned and given accolades to Brawley's quickness, but on Central's part, every play we're seeing yellow jerseys getting knocked down and knocked off. So Central really throwing some good blocks out there.
And, the Wildcats, the Spartans off the line are playing them equal, but it's the linebackers and the deep backs that are causing the problem. Pass into the flat, complete to Carter. Benny Carter hit at the 10, down to the 7 on second effort. Benny Carter picked up an extra 3 yards. It'll be 1st and goal for the Spartans inside the 10. As Steven Singh just lofted it, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective because the Wildcats were not respecting the Spartans' passing game. Everybody closed on the line of scrimmage. And
right.
he
We're
just
going to have a
lofted
timeout here, Carol, as Brawley wants to talk about it.
Timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. 6:41 to play in the first half. It is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
Central Spartans have the ball 1st and goal on the Wildcat 7, as the Spartans have, It hasn't always been pretty, but it's been effective so far as they've been able to move the ball downfield following an electrifying kickoff return by Kenny Taylor. The Spartans now trailing 22-0. This is definitely 4-down territory, John. I don't think they're going to settle for a three-pointer.
All right, well, Central lining up. They do have two wideouts to either side.
Unbalanced to the right side. From the eye, Sellers, the deep back. Sellers with the handoff. Sellers picks up a tough yard. He is smacked down by John Hernandez, and also in on the tackle, Kyle Kortson. They laid a serious lick on Mr. Sellers there. Now the Spartans will take a timeout. So will we. 6:20 to play. Well, the clock is running. Now they finally got the message. 6:19 to play in the first half. It is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecued chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
There is nothing better than great customer service. Company that can help you with your projects, answer your questions, and provide you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Trusted Lumber Company in Imperial takes pride in doing just that for the homeowner or contractor. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Trusted Lumber carrying hardware supplies from lumber, concrete, windows, and doors to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today, 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
For the past months, El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial has been offering curbside pickup, and they will continue until they are able to open indoors. You can still get your favorite Mexican food, like special quesadillas, carne asada and pollo asada burritos, taco plates, and more. In fact, their menu is huge, and the food is outstanding. To place your order, call El Zarape Restaurant at 760-355-4435. That's 355-4435. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Curbside pickup only.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004. Spartans have it 2nd and goal. We'll call it the 5-yard line. As Coach Jim Sturgeon talking to the Spartans about what he wants them to do on this 2nd and goal. Benny Carter, the up back. Sean Sellers, the deep back. Out of the eye, Stephen Singh. The quarterback, Platero on the right, Bentley on the left. And it is an attempted rollout by Stephen Singh, and he's knocked down and dropped for a loss all the way back at the 10-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10.
And Centro is going to run the same play that they'd ran before, where they threw the pass to Benny Carter on the play action and then Singh sprinting out. But that time, the inside linebacker, John Hernandez, did not stand up expecting the pass. He just went right after the quarterback.
And nobody blocked him. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10. Bentley wide on the left, Platero wide on the right. Stephen Singh takes the snap. Singh is hit and dropped immediately. Singh is caught as he's trying to drop back. John Hernandez shot the gap. Nobody blocked Hernandez at all. And Hernandez just jumped on Stephen Singh's back and rode him down.
Second straight play, Hernandez has broken free and brought Singh down. Not much a quarterback can do when he doesn't have time to turn around. He's still dropping back, and it's not a deep drop. It's a 3-step drop. But by his second step, he's being wrapped up by Hernandez. Central going to try about a 32-yard field goal here.
It'll be James Bentley trying the field goal. They'll spot the ball on the 22. It'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt. The snap is back. The kick is up. The kick is no good. So with 4:44 to play in the first half, it is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
There is nothing better than great customer service. Company that can help you with your projects, answer your questions, and provide you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Trusted Lumber Company in Imperial takes pride in doing just that for the homeowner or contractor. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Trusted Lumber carrying hardware supplies from lumber, concrete, windows, and doors to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today, 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
The Central Union Adult School is ready to support your adult learning goals. We are the first choice for adults seeking to complete their high school diploma or wanting to learn English. We offer the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own high school diploma program. Contact our office for registration information, 760-312-7050, or look us up online and on Facebook.
1st and 10, Wildcats, they take over on their own 20-yard line. Justin Baeza brings them out. Sam Toomer and Zay Shepard are in the backfield. Baeza takes a snap. He hands it off to Shepard. Shepard gets a block, cuts it to the outside, cuts it back across the middle. There's a flag down as Shepard is finally dropped at the 37. And anytime he changed directions twice, and that puts your blockers in a horrible position because they can't see you changing behind them, and they end up hitting somebody in the back, and that's exactly what happened again.
Yeah, another block in the back, but Shepard showed some real football moves out there, and you can see why Brawley tries to get him the football out in the opening. He's got some real moves, a lot of speed. We've known that since as a sophomore he was starting at tailback. And this play is going to come back. He'll actually end up with 4 positive yards because the block was down past the 30-yard line.
They'll spot it on the 24-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down. No, it's still first, right? So it's 1st and 6. Split backs, Shepard and Toomer. Handoff is to Shepard. Off tackle, Shepard is tripped up and dropped. And good play there by Art Reyes. Reyes made the tackle and tripped him up because there was nobody else between Reyes and the goal line. If he hadn't made that one, I'd be calling him into the end zone right about now. It is 2nd and 4. Shepard and Toomer in the backfield. On the option, the handoff is to Toomer, and Toomer is hit and dropped. Picked up maybe a yard before he smothered. Lamont Sellers in on the tackle.
That time Centro did an excellent job, Carol, of following the play. They were holding up their blockers, meaning the offensive line of Brawley, not giving Baeza any room to turn the corner, try to go upfield. So when he finally did give the ball to Toomer, there was just, Baeza gave the ball to Toomer. There just was no real estate, no area, no place for him to go, and he was brought down for no gain.
No gain. So it is 3rd and 4. Baeza brings him out, takes a snap, back to pass, looking, has time, chased out of the pocket, and is hit and goes down, but he's got the first down.
Well, this is a facet of Brawley's football team that we haven't seen much tonight, and Baeza is an elusive
and there is a flag
runner
on the play, I believe.
And I'm not sure if this was something that happened after the play. The Brawley players are over there talking to the ref. I haven't seen anything yet as far as a call, so I think they're going to go ahead and, the Brawley players are upset because he got a very poor spot. He's actually spotted down on the 29-yard line, so this is going to bring up 4th and 1.
Okay, and there was no flag. It was a towel, apparently.
Yeah, one of those yellow
Wildcats have those yellow towels. So it'll be a 4th and 1, and the Wildcats show punt.
We would expect them to carry out this punt inside their own 30-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout. And
Brawley will take their last timeout of the first half. So with 2:06 to play in the first half, it is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
8 Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's the place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, 8 Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and 8 Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
It'll be Wildcats football, 4th and 1, a short one from the 29-yard line. They lead at 22-0. They do show a punt formation with Justin Baeza back to do the punting. Kenny Taylor dropping back to receive. Baeza, the only fault on Baeza tonight so far is his punting. He hasn't got the bounce.
And it's just been unfortunate bounces. He's kicked the ball high. He's kicked it far. It's just bounced back against him.
Are they really going to punt it? Snap is back. Baeza gets it away. Not a bad kick. It'll be Taylor fielding it and losing it. And Taylor, then it's finally covered downfield by the Spartans. Kenny Taylor he took his eyes off the ball as he went to pick it up. Lamont Sellers recovered it.
And good reason to take his eye off the ball as John Hernandez was bearing down on him. And that's that same John Hernandez that we called the last 2 times sacking Stephen Singh in the backfield when Central had the ball inside the 10-yard line.
So the Spartans would get lucky on that bounce. It'll be 1st and 10 Spartans who put it in play from their own 30-yard line. Spartan football on AM 1230 KXOL Centro, brought to you by your Imperial Irrigation District. IID Energy's call center is now open 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. I formation, no surprise there. Hand off to the deep back, and that is Taylor. Taylor out to the 30, so he gets back to the line of scrimmage. There's a holding call. That'll cost them if they take the penalty instead of the no gain. I think they will take the penalty.
They probably will take the penalty here as there's under 2 minutes to go, so they don't really expect to get the football back unless Central turns it over. So they'll go ahead and push him back as far as they can.
And they push it back to the 18-yard line. It'll remain 1st down. It'll be 1st and 22.
So that was your average 12-yard penalty since the hold occurred 2 yards in the backfield.
Bentley wide on the right side, the short side of the field. Singh takes the snap, back to pass. No, he hands it off on a deep handoff to Kenny Taylor. Taylor brings it out to the 20, so he picks up 2. Clock is running inside of 1:20 to play here in the first half. It'll be 2nd down and about 21 yards to go. The Spartans offensively not getting much going against a very, very good Brawley Wildcat defense. Sellers the up back, Taylor the deep back, and again John Hernandez shoot. Nobody has blocked John Hernandez all night. Singh dropping back to pass and is dropped in his tracks. Nobody touched John Hernandez. He just shot the gap. Now keep in mind the Wildcats are using a 3-man front. Hernandez, a linebacker, is just shooting through and dumping Singh before he can do anything.
Yeah, lined up over the center at times, but he's getting a running start on these plays. And the last 3 times he's had sacks, it's almost like he was in the backfield with the Spartans.
Lined up down lineman now. on a 3rd and about 35. Back to pass is Singh, being chased, fires, and it's almost picked off by Sam Toomer, intended for Sean Sellers. It goes incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th and forever.
And Brawley will get the football back with 4 seconds left to go here in the half.
4th and 37.
And that time, as we watched Singh drop back, it looked like he did have Sellers open. But Sam Toomer, showing his incredible speed, closed so quickly and knocked the ball away, and as you called it, was in position to almost make the interception.
Barkham drops back, single safety now, which means they're probably going to rush the kicker. 10 men up on the line. I think they're going to come after Singh on this one. They do. He gets it away. It's a good kick. It'll bounce at the 40 and be picked up at the 47-yard line by Barkham. Gets blocks down the sideline and stays on his feet and gets into the end zone. Time is out in the first half. And did he get in or did he go out of bounds? They say he went out of bounds downfield.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. The coaching staff is pointing to the refs, asking for some kind of determination. And now the other ref is sending the Brawley players off to the sideline. So that means that there's
no extra point because there was no touchdown. And there's a flag back on the 30. We couldn't see it because the Spartans were in front of it, but there is a flag back on the 30.
Yeah, that's what the coaching staff was pointing out, that there was a flag. Now, the half cannot end on a defensive penalty, but it certainly can end on an offensive penalty. If this is a block in the back, this will be against Brawley, and here's this. They're going to march it off. Now, I'm not that
Time
much
has
up
expired
on these kinds of things. I know in the pros they'd get what's called an untimed down, but I'd be very surprised if high school had that same rule. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and line up and run one more play here. Now, the clock went off. There's no time left. We heard the clock go off before the ball was actually even fielded by Barkham. Central had him pinned in on the sidelines, and he put some moves on and was able to shake loose. But I believe we're going to have an untimed down right here as the ref is over explaining to the coaching staff what they're going to call right here.
Barkham did a great job tiptoeing down the sidelines and staying in bounds. I thought he was out at about the 30. The official was much closer and didn't agree with me, but that's not unusual. It'll be 1st and 10. This will be the final play of the first half, unless there is a defensive penalty.
Central in a prevent defense with 4 players back 15 yards off the ball.
And back to pass is Baeza. Fires downfield into the corner. It goes incomplete. It was intended down there for Will. No, that's not Will Torres. It was intended for Andrew Alexandra. Goes incomplete. And that's the end of the first half. At the end of the first half of play, it's Brawley 22, Central nothing.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross and El Centro. Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. Tonight's game originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Central Spartan football on AM 1230 KXO El Centro. I'm Carol Buckley. In the booth with me, John Driffel. And one of the people you don't hear very often is Matt Juleson. I think last week was really the first time we put you on the air, wasn't it, Matt?
That's right, it was.
Okay, and we're going to put you on the spot again, Matt.
Okay.
And find out what's happening in the world of fantasy football.
Right now, it's actually, you caught me off guard here because I didn't do my homework this week. So.
Oh, you're not ready then. Okay.
Right.
Pop quiz, and you weren't ready.
That's right.
Okay. The Fantasy Football League, you get to pick your favorite NFL players' skill positions, right?
That's right.
No centers, guards, none of the dumb players.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, only the big money players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight end, kickers, and a defense.
Okay. Did you make any player moves this week?
No, I haven't even got a chance yet,
Okay. I thought maybe you knew something and Ricky Williams was going to come back and you were going to pick him up.
Hey, if he came back, man, I'd pounce on that opportunity.
Yes. Okay. As soon as he can come up with the $8 million to pay back the Dolphins, he might come back. Anyway, the things so far in the first half. Your assessment, Matt.
Hey, well, you know what? Brawley's looking pretty good right now. Central could come back into it if they be more consistent, put the ball on the ground. Hope for some luck. That's all I can think of right now is some luck.
The luck went Brawley's way. They put it on the ground 3 times and kept possession. And, that in the first quarter, the first couple of minutes of the first quarter. So, you talk about luck. That was, the ball went their way.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Zay Shepard, you want him on your team?
I do.
Okay.
He's good. I was watching him up here, and he's got the moves of an NFL player. I see him how he cuts back and he'll juke the players out, and he's really neat to watch.
And one of the things that he has done is he's let them block for him, and that the sign of a good runner is he doesn't try and outrun the blocks.
That's right. He shows his patience.
Right. Anyway, Matt, we expect an update next week, and we should tell everybody next week. The Spartans have a bye. The Spartans are off, but we're going to be working next week as we'll be on campus at Southwest, your home, and bring you the Southwest H-Town Academy game as just kind of as a bonus, as we think it's an opportunity to showcase Southwest. And since we're not going to be doing a Central game, we figured we'd pick that one up just for fun.
Yeah, that shows good character on the case.
Okay, so. We expect a tour of the campus from you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Matt. We appreciate the visit, and next week we expect an update on the fantasy football. We'll take a break. It's at the half, and at the half it is Brawley 22, Central nothing.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic, the list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecued chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
It's your Spartan Halftime Report. Spartan Halftime Report brought to you by Steve Walker, attorney at law. John Driffel, well, I don't think there's any surprise in the halftime numbers, are there?
No, it's interesting numbers, though. Brawley, who was averaging over 400 yards a game, only have 171 total yards, and Baeza who is an excellent passer, is only 1 of 2 for 10 yards. But that's because Brawley certainly has not seen the necessity to throw the football. That last play was in and out of the hands of a would-be receiver that could have had a touchdown. So Baez have shown his ability, but Brawley has run the ball only 16 times. Now, part of that is because they've had 2 long touchdown runs. And so when you take the football in more than 35 yards each time, then you're not going to move it down the field with a lot of attempts. So 16 carries for 161 yards. That's just about 10 yards an attempt. 1 for 2 for 10 yards. So only 171 yards in the first half. If you had talked to the Central coaches before this game and you said, if you're going to hold Brawley to 171 yards in the first half, would you take it? And I'm sure they would have said yes. Brawley had 7 first downs, and they lost no fumbles. They had no interceptions, although they did fumble 3 times. None of those count because they're all recovered by Brawley.
And for positive yardage on 2 of them. I mean, very positive yardage as they took fortuitous bounce for the Wildcats.
And that's another reason why you actually don't call them as fumbles, because the players picked the ball up and advanced it forward. Before we look at Central's stats, we'll go ahead and take another timeout for Steve Walker, father of his son, who is now a graduate student at Princeton, and that being Casey Walker, and attorney at law.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
Ayton Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's a place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, Ayton Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
Are you in need of your high school diploma? The Central Union Adult School offers the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own 135-credit high school diploma program for adults aged 18 and up. We are also your locally authorized Pearson and ETS testing center. And coming this fall, we are offering GRE testing as well. Call us at 760-312-7050 or visit us at cuhsd.net or on Facebook. You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Central has rushed the ball 30 times, almost twice as much as Brawley. But again, we mentioned that Brawley did have the 2 long touchdown runs that can negate any kind of drive that's going to pile up the carries. So 30 carries, only 23 yards, and that's because Stephen Singh has been sacked 3 times for negative 15. Stephen Singh has completed the 1 pass to Benny Carter for 13 yards and a first down. So you add the 23 and the 13, that gives Central only 36 total yards. But as you look at Brawley over the course of the season, they held H-Town to less than that in the first half, the game they played them. So this Brawley defense is very good, and we knew that coming in. Central only with 2 first downs, no fumbles, no interceptions. Individually, Sean Sellers has run the ball 8 times for 19 yards. Benny Carter's run the ball 3 times for 4 yards. Also, Kenny Taylor has run the ball 16 times for 15 yards. And we've already mentioned Stephen Singh has been sacked for a total of negative 15 yards. The 1 reception, again, was made by Benny Carter, and that was for a 13-yard gain. So as we look at the stats, Brawley leading 22-0. Central not putting up much numbers yet. Their defense has not really played that badly. They've given up 2 long touchdown runs. Central will receive the second half kickoff. And I am sure right now they are trying to make some adjustments and figure out how they can block John Hernandez, as he has flowed through the offensive line the last 3 sacks against Stephen Singh. And they were not any kind of Stephen Singh taking too much time. He didn't have a chance to turn around. He would drop back and be hit on his second step back off the line of scrimmage. So I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments and see if they can block John Hernandez. We will be back with more as we take this timeout for Steve Walker, attorney at law.
The Central Union Adult School is ready to support your adult learning goals. We are the first choice for adults seeking to complete their high school diploma or wanting to learn English. We offer the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own high school diploma program. Contact our office for registration information, 760-312-7050, or look us up online and on Facebook.
We all love an expert. We've got a roof expert, a plumber, a great mechanic, the list just goes on. Imperial Valley Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez is a local insurance expert that knows the community. You'll get advice you can trust to help you select coverage that's best for you. So whether it's protection for your car, home, boat, motorcycle, or more, Ubaldo is here to help. Stop by Allstate agent Ubaldo Bermudez's office today at 425 Desert Garden Drive in El Centro. Are you in good hands? Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Favorite NFL team plays on Imperial Valley's AM 1230, KXO El Centro.
Well, the Spartans obviously are going to have to make some adjustments. They're trailing this 22-0, and far and away the best team that they have lined up against this year. The Spartans may be 2-2 on the year, but the two teams that beat them were pretty evenly matched. And Yuma and Christian were both games that the Spartans could have won. And, with a bounce here or a break there. But you don't count on bounces. You don't count on breaks. You make your own in football. And what adjustments would you see in the second half, John?
Well, we've already mentioned the fact that they have to block Hernandez.
Somebody has to block John Hernandez.
Now, one of the ways you can do that, and Carol, being an ex-football player, is you keep Sean Sellers in there, and he certainly can knock Hernandez down, as Hernandez has been blowing through untouched. So you can keep a back in. You can bring your guard tighter into your center. You can assign your center to the man. Central does run some schemes with their blocking, so we'll see what adjustments they've made. I'm not sure if they're ready to air out the football. When you do rollouts and that kind of thing, you really play into the hands of Brawley because their trademark on defense is speed. And if you try to start doing some rollouts, they can close to the football very quickly.
Well, and the passing game is not the Spartan strength. It's their running game has been effective. For their passing attack to work, they've got to make the running game work. And the first pass they threw was effective because the running game was so effective, and the Wildcats were defending it. So that's an adjustment that'll have to be made. That'll do it for the halftime report provided by Steve Walker, attorney at law.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXO El Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats. The Spartans will get the football to start the second half, and they're going to have made some adjustments during that halftime. And, I know John Bishop wasn't in the locker room during the half. John Self firing up the Wildcats, though with a 22-0 lead, I don't think there's a lot of firing up he would have had to do. But John Bishop confined to a wheelchair, his left leg propped up. following, my understanding is 4 fractures of that leg, and surgery Saturday morning following the Friday night accident. And, did anybody get the number of the truck that hit him?
Yeah, well, there was 3 players actually, 2 from Brawley, 1 from Inglewood, piled into Coach Bishop, and being the gamer that he is, he's here tonight. We could mention right now that at halftime, Santana is leading Southwest 14-3. And I wanted to ask you, Carol, about your recent escapades as a card player for charity over in Arizona.
Well, neither Brett nor Bart Maverick have anything to fear about me. I'm not a card player, and ran into some people that were. But hey, we made $200 for the Salvation Army Thanksgiving dinner program. So we got, and I wasn't the first one out. I wasn't the second one out, or even the third one out. I outlasted 3 other people. I was the 4th one out.
Now, Carol, did you have to be asking them how much this was worth and what beat what, or were you more up on the game than that?
I had a cheat sheet, and that helped. And the first time I had played poker in years and years and years was right before we started the tournament. I had about a half an hour to warm up. And like I said, I'm not much of a card player. We're set for the kickoff. Campos gets a foot into it. It'll bounce down at the 10. It's picked up there by Kenny Taylor. Taylor is hit at the 20, spins, and gets out to the 22 before he is finally brought down. And John Hernandez, take a seat. Hernandez in on the tackle.
Yeah, John Hernandez all over the field tonight. Young man is a senior. I mentioned J.R. Carrillo, who is a sophomore on this football team. His father, John Carrillo Sr., played 18 years ago, and he started as a sophomore and a junior as a fullback and inside linebacker. And the second game of his senior year against Rancho Bernardo, he had a knee injury that ended his career, cut it short. He wasn't able to play the last 8 games. So he is now being represented by his son wearing the same number 36 uniform.
It is 1st and 10, Spartans from their own 22-yard line. They come out in the I formation. Deep back is Sellers, rolling to his left and firing downfield, complete to Benny Carter at the 30. Singh got the block he needed there. You called it. Sean Sellers put a hat on John Hernandez, and with a little bit of time, Stephen Singh completed it, and it's a pickup of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
And Stephen Singh doing a nice job of ball faking. Brawley did not have any idea of where the football was as Singh tucked it under and it rolled out, was not molested, was not touched, and was able to complete the pass to Carter.
It is 2nd and 1. Sellers the deep back, Carter the up back. It is Sellers. Sellers has got the first down, and that's it. He is dropped by Will Torres. The swarming defense, this is probably the smallest defense that the Spartans have played against, but it is far and away the quickest.
Sellers not receiving a very favorable spot on that, as now they're going to have to bring the chains in and measure for it. It's kind of like in the old days where the referee would take the football, and no matter where you were, he'd just move it back about 1.5 feet, just automatically every play. And so I'm not saying it was a bad spot. It's been consistent. But it looked like he had enough for the first down. And then once we saw the spot, we'll just have to wait and see as they bring the chains across. I know, Carol, you have to be impressed by the way this Brawley team not only swarms for the ball, but how they tackle. You just don't see the Central players breaking any arm tackles.
No, they stick you. It is a first down.
And they have nice form. They hit you around the knees, around the ankles, around the thighs. You don't see Brawley players trying to grab people around the shoulder pads and bring them down.
Well, you're not going to bring Sean Sellers down by grabbing him at the shoulder pads. And they have pretty well bottled him up. First and 10, Spartans from their own 31-yard line. Sellers gets a block. Benny Carter put a hat on Marty Muhammad. Muhammad just shed him and then made the tackle. Muhammad just pushed him out of the way. Bigger, stronger, and just pushed him out of the way and made the tackle.
And that's what good players can do. Marty Muhammad, a junior, cousin of Mike Muhammad, and their 2 fine football players have been playing together since they were 8 years old in Pop Warner football.
Bentley wide on the right. It is 2nd and 12. Singh rolling to his right, looking downfield, has a little bit of time, keeps on rolling, fires across the middle. It's complete. That looks like Art Reyes out at the 37-yard line. So it's a completion for about 8. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5.
And that time, Mike Muhammad was just turned every which way. He was trying to figure out which way Singh was going. He turned left, turned right, spun completely around, and was not able to put a hand on Singh as he stopped, threw the ball back across the middle, and Reyes with a nice reception.
And Erwin Medina is the reason Muhammad couldn't get to Singh. Medina had him blocked, had him shielded off. It'll be 3rd and about 4. On a draw, the handoff is to Taylor. Taylor goes inside, cuts it outside. He's hit and stacked up by about 8 Wildcats. There's a flag on the play. I think there's going to be a hold against the Spartans as well. That's terrible when you hold and you still can't keep them from dropping your guy for a 5-yard loss.
Well, Singh was in the arms of John Hernandez as he broke free again and came through. And that time, Kenny Taylor, instead of taking the ball and just taking off, he tried to pick a hole. And this Brawley team is much too quick. I'm surprised they're accepting the penalty. I thought they'd go ahead because it'd be 4th down and make them punt. But it'll be 3rd down again, although they do move them back inside the 25-yard line.
It is spotted on the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 19.
And that was a typical 14-yard penalty. We're getting some unusual numbers here on these penalties. We had a 12-yard. That's a 14-yard because they're calling the hold 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, if you're going to hold, make it a good hold and keep him out. Taylor goes in motion, and the pitch on the option is to Kenny Taylor. Taylor is hit by Zay Shepard and dropped back at the 15-yard line.
Well, Centro lined up in the shotgun, meaning Steven Singh was about 5 yards behind the center or off the center, and he took the direct snap. And as soon as he took the snap, every Brawley player ran up to the line of scrimmage. They weren't looking for any kind of pass, and there was no place for Taylor to go but down. As we see another short snap right here.
And it's a fake and firing downfield and incomplete, intended for Bentley. I guess that was 3rd down, John. I thought it was 4th.
Well, they did get another 3rd down on the penalty, but actually Central's coming to their 5th down right here, which is fine. They're going to call it 4th down. So Central given an extra 3rd down, and they certainly could have used it.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think I was right on that one, John.
Yeah, they had actually 3 3rd down plays, counting the hold and then Taylor's run and then that pass right there.
Standing back near his own goal line is Steven Singh. High snap. He gets it down, gets away another boomer. It'll be Toomer fielding at the 45, gets a block and reverses field, gets away from one tackler and then is submarined and dropped. And that's Platero that submarined him and dropped him. That wasn't Toomer, that was James Pope on the return. James Pope.
Probably showing their versatility. They could put Pope, Barkham, Toomer, Shepard back there. Shepard with only 1 touchdown tonight. I already mentioned he's leading the state in scoring with 114 points. Brawley comfortably in the lead here at 22-0 as we're nearing the midway point of the 3rd quarter. But we certainly will expect Brawley to try to get him another score.
It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats. They have it on the Spartan 35-yard line. Barkham comes out wide on the right side. Zay Shepard in the backfield. And I think that's Toomer. It is. Handoff on a little counter play. It is Shepard up the middle. And Shepard gets it down, picks up about 2.
Yeah, Art Reyes on the stop there as Art held his ground, shed the blocker, and just grabbed a hold of Shepard and held on.
Art Reyes and Matt Bentley are both big enough that there are not too many guys that are going to move them. And to that effect, what the Wildcats blockers have done is just basically shielded them and kept them away. And that's effective blocking. You don't have to knock the guy down. It is 2nd and 8. Toomer and Shepard in the backfield. Back to pass. Fires Baeza, complete to Barkham at the 30, down to the 25, to the 20, inside the 20, before he's brought down. Benny Carter and James Bentley on the tackle. A little bit of shake and bake by Barkham there. You know, the Wildcats probably, they're leading 22-0. They're driving for another score. They're probably showing a little bit more of their offense than what they would really like to, John.
Yeah, usually in this first game, Brawley does play it close to the vest, but they've got so many weapons. I don't think they're concerned about later on down the road playing Central again.
And the handoff up the middle. It's Zay Shepard. Zay Shepard carries it down to the 15 and then is spun down. And Shepard has a few words for one of the Spartans as he stomps back to the huddle.
Armando Ponce had grabbed Shepard and hit him and held on for the ride and pulled him down. And if Zay doesn't like being hit, then I guess he shouldn't play football, because when you got the football, people are going to try to tackle you.
He picks up 4 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 6. The ball straddles the 15-yard line. Shepard and Toomer in the backfield. Split backs. Pro set. 2 wide. Nobody's picked up the wide receiver on the left side. And on the option, the handoff goes to the first back through. And that is Zay Shepard. And Zay Shepard carries it inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
You could see the power of Shepard as they had 3 or 4 Spartans on for the ride, and he just powered his way in. And we have coming into the football game for the first time this year is Danny Valenzuela. He is a 327-pound senior, and he has been on the squad, but they did not have really feel the opportunity to play him yet, but he is in now on the goal line defense.
And he will take up space right there in the middle. Barkham goes out wide on the left. Torres in the slot. They are picked up. 1st and goal from the 4. Handoff is to Toomer. Toomer is hit and struggles his way down to about the 2-yard line. Whole bunch of Spartans in on the tackle there. James Bentley, one of them. And also in there on the tackle for the Spartans was Ruben Marquez.
I would expect Shepard to get this, although Brawley could give the ball to Toomer. Baez himself could take it on the quarterback sneak. We'll see what they've called. The Brawley coaches are here calling the plays down to the sideline right above us.
2nd and goal from the 1. Baeza hands off. Shepard into the end zone. Touchdown, Brawley.
And he has now scored 120 points on the season to lead the state of California. Old friend Gabe Saucier just showed up right in front of us here in the stands. He's playing up at COD in Palm Desert, and I guess he's probably come after practice and getting ready for his game tomorrow night. I don't know who they're playing, but he's here watching his younger brother. It's good to see Gabe again.
Josh has been getting the start on the offensive line. The Wildcats come out. They'll go for 2. Give it to Shepard. Give him some more points. Baeza. Hands off to Shepard. Shepard.
I don't believe he made it as the football gets tossed up in the air, and he did not.
He gets stopped short of the goal line, so the point after conversion, the attempt for 2, is no good. And with 4:52 to play in the 3rd quarter, the score is Brawley 28, Central nothing.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross and El Centro.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Central Spartans and the Brawley Wildcats on AM 1230, KXOL Centro, California. We're about a little bit more than halfway through the third quarter of play here. The Wildcats are leading it 28-0. Chris Campos will tee it up.
As we look across the way, Carol, we see full stands. The Brawley people have traveled down to El Centro for this game, and that stands across the way. There's just not much space, some standing room in the aisles and down by the field. So Brawley traveling well with their squad.
And Campos kicks it low, and it skips down and is covered by Benny Carter at the 26-yard line. Benny, just cover it. And that's not something you can just field cleanly when it's bouncing all over the place. Spartan football is brought to you in part by KFC, where they do chicken right. Remember, kitchen fresh chicken. It's finger licking good.
Interesting that Brawley went for 2 on that last play. I know during timeout we're trying to figure out what their strategy was or why they would, and I just still have no clue why they would go for 2.
Maybe to get Shepard some more points since he got the football. Spartans 1st and 10. Handoff is a hole for Sellers. Sellers has about 4 yards before that closes, but it opens at the line, with a 3-man front for the Wildcats. They get the hole at the line, and then it closes immediately as the Wildcats just swarm all over the football.
And that's mostly Martin Mohammed and John Hernandez are the ones that are doing the closing. But interesting to see the defense Brawley's playing. It does appear that there are some holes there, some chinks in the armor.
3 down linemen. Everybody else is up, and everybody close to the football. Again, handoff to Sellers. Sellers out to the 35-yard line. And again, 3 or 4 at a time. Be patient. Take that 3 or 4. Pick up first downs and move the ball. Don't make mistakes. Don't panic. One of the worst things you can do is come out and figure you got to change your whole game. Sellers and Carter in the backfield. Taylor wide on the left side. The short side of the field on a 3rd and inches. It is Sellers. Sellers has the first down as they move the sticks. Zay Shepard in on the tackle.
And that time, Central put Zachary Morton assigned to John Hernandez, and he knocked Hernandez all the way about, I'd say 7 yards off the football on his back, right here in front of the Central bench.
1st and 10, Spartans on the 38-yard line. Matt Bentley wide on the left side. Kenny Taylor wide on the right side. Taylor and Bentley both are threats to catch the football. Again, it is Sean Sellers. Sellers burst through across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Again, patience. Take your 5 yards. If you pick up 4 yards every time you carry the football, every 3rd down you're moving the sticks.
And that time we saw James Bentley come across and really put a hit on James Pope. James Pope, one of the cornerbacks. We've seen a lot of elusive running from Pope, but that time he did some elusive escaping from Bentley, not wanting much of him.
Barkham comes over and picks up Taylor on the left. Everybody else is in tight, 2 tight ends. And on a counter, it is Taylor on the reverse, and Taylor, he doesn't fool Kyle Quartson, as there were 3 Wildcats on the left side of the line that they sniffed that one out and dropped him for a 6-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Once again, when you run delays and reverses in the backfield, you are playing to Brawley's strength. They have a lot of quickness,
a lot of penetration,
and a lot of experience on the line and in the defensive backfield. They read the play. They see which way the guards are moving, the receivers, and they pretty much know what the play is going to develop into.
3rd and 11. Handoff is to Sean Sellers. Sellers stays on his feet, staggers out to the 43-yard line. He was hit and dropped there by the Wildcats Will Torres. Also, Andy Miramontes in on the tackle. It'll bring up 4th and about 4.
And on that drive, Carroll Sellers gained 6. And then Kenny Taylor was thrown for a 6-yard loss, and then Sellers gained 6 yards back. So they're right about where they started 2 plays ago, and they're in punt formation.
It is 4th down. Well, I got it right this time. I was right the last time. The officials blew it. Another boomer. Drives Barkham back to the 20, and the ball will roll and be downed on about the 9-yard line. Steven Singh, he gets my vote as offensive player of the night with his punting.
Some of the people here on the Central side thought that Barkham had touched the football, or that it actually maybe ticked his leg or hand on the way by. But the referees did not call that as the ball rolled dead. Central touched it down, and the ball has been given to Brawley.
It'll be 1st and 10. Wildcats have it on their own 9-yard line. Spartans need a defensive hold right here. They need to stop the Wildcats.
And Brawley's looking at a 91-yard drive. That's what they're hoping for.
Shepard, the single setback. Shepard up the middle. Shepard across the 15 to the 18-yard line. Shepard brought down by Ricky Viesca, but not until he picked up about 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Yeah.
And the Wildcats' offensive line just blowing the Spartans off the ball.
Yeah. Fatigue certainly could be a factor now, as Central's defense has been out on the field. The referee's trying to wind the clock up. I saw one stop the clock, which you're not supposed to do if there's no first down.
Well, it was a first down. Okay, he got enough for the first down. They gave him a good spot. So it is 1st and 10. That's why the clock stopped. And on the option, it is Baeza. Baeza hit and dropped at about the 22-yard line. On the tackle was Matt Bentley, and with him Peter McDonald. Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. The clock continues to run. We're inside of 20 seconds here in the 3rd quarter.
Probably the last play of the 3rd quarter about to transpire.
The Wildcats lead it 28-0. Baeza brings him back. Zay Shepard, the single setback. In motion goes Sam Toomer. Back to pass is Baeza. It's complete to Torres. Torres out to the 45, to the 50, and spun down in Spartan territory at the 49-yard line. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3 quarters of play, it is Brawley 28, Central nothing.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecued chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The Central Union Adult School is ready to support your adult learning goals. We are the first choice for adults seeking to complete their high school diploma or wanting to learn English. We offer the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own high school diploma program. Contact our office for registration information, 760-312-7050, or look us up online and on Facebook.
Ayton Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's the place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, Ayton Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and Ayton Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230. KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Spartan football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO. Next week, the Spartans have the week off, but John, Matt, and I are going to be busy. Southwest and H-Town Academy are going to tee it up at the Southwest Eagle Field, and we'll be on hand to bring you all the action. Yeah, we're going to pick up the Crosstown team. And, you get busy on a Friday night. You hate to take the week off. So we'll bring you the Southwest H-Town Academy game next week. It'll be live on AM 1230 KXO.
Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to seeing Dustin Driscoll. 1st and 10, Wildcats on the Spartan 49-yard line. Baeza back to pass, looking, fires downfield. It's complete to Barkham. Barkham beat everybody. There was no coverage. It wasn't Kenny Taylor. It was Justin Sanchez, and Sanchez wasn't within 10 yards of Barkham.
Yeah, not sure if Justin misread the football or just didn't judge it properly. He was well underthrown. Perhaps he thought he could make a play on it, but he leaped, but the ball was well over him as Barkham just waited. He didn't even have to continue running. He just stopped, much like you field a punt. And once he caught it, he turned around and there was nobody there. Baeza now padding his throwing stats, but this is what Brawley can do. They have the passing attack that they haven't had in recent memory, and also because of the way the defense must play the run, it will leave players like Barkham uncovered.
Campa's kick is up. Campa's kick is through. With 11:52 to play in the football game, it's the Brawley Wildcats 35, the Central Spartans nothing.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada. Pico Market.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross in El Centro.
For the past months, El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial has been offering curbside pickup, and they will continue until they are able to open indoors. You can still get your favorite Mexican food, like special quesadillas, carne asada and pollo asada burritos, taco plates, and more. In fact, their menu is huge, and the food is outstanding. To place your order, call El Zarape Restaurant at 760-355-4435. That's 355-4435. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Curbside pickup only.
Well, the Central Spartans getting outplayed by the Brawley Wildcats through the first 3 quarters of play. And reading body language, John, the Spartans need something to pick them up a little bit. They're hands on their hips, looking down. They're not. When you're trailing 35-0, you figure you gotta do something, but you got to keep your head in the game. Campa's kick skips down the middle. James Bentley picks it up at the 27-yard line. James Bentley will go down at the 32-yard line. Sam Toomer on the tackle. And, you were talking about, maybe fatigue. The Wildcats basically are playing 15 guys all night, both ways, and fatigue isn't bothering them any. And, with a 35-0 lead, you don't feel tired.
Right, and they're obviously in very good shape. They do have a year-round program that they run, and during the winter and spring, they're in the weight room, they're doing their aerobics, etc. On that last play, watching James Bentley try to run away from Sam Toomer was rather humorous. It looked like the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
1st and 10, Spartans have it. It's on their own 32-yard line. Stephen Singh takes the snap, hands off. It is Sean Sellers across the 35 to the 40. Sellers with an 8-yard gain, and that has been effective.
And there is no quit in Sean Sellers. And let's give props to James Bentley on that return. When you catch the football, you're supposed to run straight upfield, and that's just what he did.
Exactly. That's what linebackers do. Sam Toomer, again, in on the tackle. One of the Spartans comes off a little bit gimpy. That's Erwin Medina. And Medina has definitely been a bright spot for the Spartans tonight. One of the few. 2nd and 1. Carter, the up back. Sellers, the deep back, gets the football. Sellers is hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. And great play there by the Wildcats' J.R. Carrillo and Mike Mohammed. Carrillo hit him, couldn't bring him down, went down, got up, and then was in on the tackle about 2 yards downfield.
Sellers now coming off the field, and we don't see a lot of clean jerseys out there. Brawley still with their first-string defense. We would expect that perhaps until maybe even Central's final possession of this game. We'll see what happens when Brawley gets the football back.
Sellers cramped up. They're working on him. On a 3rd and 1 on a rollout. Little play-action fake. Rolling to his left is Singh, running for his life. Back to the right. Overthrows Kenny Taylor. It goes incomplete. Singh just had nowhere to go. And another Spartan shaken up on this play. There's timeout on the field. Sellers has a cramp, and they're working on him on the sideline, but one of the big guys, one of the down linemen, is stretched out at the 35-yard line, and doesn't appear to be a leg. It may be he is winded, or could even be a cramp, but it's Zach Morton. And they're working on Morton, but there's timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. With 10:17 to play in the football game, it's Brawley 35, Central nothing.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
Hacienda Snack Bar in Brawley, your catering specialist, has had to make some adjustments due to COVID-19. They've been offering carry-out with daily specials Monday through Friday. Monday is barbacoa with rice and beans. Tuesday is tri-tip and boneless barbecued chicken. How about Wednesday? Your choice, meatloaf or chicken fried steak. Thursday is Mario's choice. And Friday, it's steak and shrimp. To order your plate, call Hacienda Snack Bar, 760-344-5542. That's 344-5542. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. and serving lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230, KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Spartan football on AM 1230 KXO. Zach Morton comes off under his own power. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him, John.
Yeah, Carroll, on that last incompleted pass, Central picked up 2 yards. The play started on the 40, and now the ball's placed on the 42. So I'm not sure. Incompleted pass for 2 yards.
And they got the extra down on an earlier play. Hey, officials, get your head in it tonight.
Yeah, the downs lineman across the way didn't want to move the yardage stick.
Another boomer by Singh. It'll bounce at the 30 and roll inside the 10. It's picked up there by Pope. Pope looking for some running room, gets a crackback block that levels one of the Spartans. Pope out to the 40, to the 50. He'll run down the far sideline before Stephen Singh finally gets him. Pope with a dangerous play, and if I'm the coach, I'm going to have a talk with him about that you don't do that, son.
Well,
he pulled it off. He pulled it off, and so, it's not as bad, but...
Yeah, he lulled the Spartan to sleep down there. I'm not going to identify the player who was just kind of running with the football, and Pope was backing up. And then when the ball rolled dead, the Central Spartan player pulled up, stood up, and once he stood up, Pope grabbed the football and took off running. And everybody in Central side of the ball had pulled up, figuring the ball was going to be down. So I'm sure that's a play that Central player won't let happen again. He'll get down there and cover that football.
It is 1st and 10, Wildcats. They have it on the Spartan 25-yard line. Justin Baeza puts Toomer in motion. Baeza rolls to his left, fires across field, incomplete, intended for Toomer, and Toomer again had beaten the coverage. So it's incomplete.
Yeah, a little surprised to see Brawley's first string offense out there. They're up 35-0. There's 9 minutes to go in the game. We still see Shepard, Toomer you just called, Baeza. Nothing wrong with the pass. 35-0. You want to go ahead and work on whatever you think you need to. But I was a little surprised to see that they don't have some more clean uniforms out there.
It is 2nd and 10 from the 25. Markham comes out wide on the left. He's picked up by Steven Singh, now playing defense.
Having trouble with the formation.
Shepard, the single setback. Toomer comes out, goes in motion, and lines up in the slot on the left, the wide side of the field. Now, way too much time, boys, and that'll cost them 5. And part of it, John, is they are working on plays that are deeper in their playbook. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're there. It's game situation, and they're getting set for league play by running some plays that they maybe haven't had a chance to run before.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And what they're doing is they're running formations that they're not familiar with. Right. Now, they practice these formations, but maybe once or twice a week. Certainly not all the reps that they get with their running plays. So not a bad idea by Brawley to go ahead and just get used to running some things. They're going to need these passing plays.
And
I'm not sure why there's a whistle. The ref already said that it was a delay of game, but I guess
he called a second delay of game and moved it back 5 more. So it's 2nd and 20. He called a second delay of game, and I'm not sure exactly why, but
well, I guess he figured he was going to make sure they got up to the line of scrimmage, and that's where they are now.
2nd and 20 from the 35. Toomer in motion. Shepard, the single setback, gets the ball off the right side on a slant and carries it down to the 30. It's a pickup of 5 for Zay Shepard. And getting up slowly are several Spartans. James Bentley in there. 2 Spartans remain on the field and are getting up even slower. Viejas and Armando Ponce. And you're right, the Spartans' defense is winded.
Yeah, Brawley running straight at him.
Clock is running. We're inside of 8:40 in the football game. Brawley leads it 35-0. It is 3rd and 15. Toomer again in motion. Back to passes by Baeza, rolling to his left. He's got time, fires downfield. It's complete to Barkham. Barkham at the 15, at the 10, inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line. And again, nobody was covering Barkham. There was nobody near him in the defensive secondary.
Yeah, it's a 25-yard pickup on 3rd and about 15 or 20, so they made the necessary first down. They will have it first, and it looks like it's going to be first and goal.
From the 5. Toomer and Shepard, split backs, pro set offense. Baeza back to pass, lofts it into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Nobody was covering Muhammad on that one. And Mike Muhammad for the score. You got to cover somebody. The Spartan defense, pass defense, is non-existent.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they just have so many players up on the line of scrimmage preventing or trying to prevent the run.
The snap, the kick, it's up, it's good. With 8:05 to play in the football game, it is Brawley 42, Centro nothing.
Baja Farms in Holtville has been farming for many years and takes pride in what they've accomplished with their operation. It has enabled them to support their communities and support youth of Imperial Valley from FFA to 4-H, youth sports, and academics. Baja Farms hopes to continue this for many years. And here's a message from your friends at Baja Farms. During these trying times, be safe, stay healthy, and God bless America.
Pico Market is under new ownership. Did you know? Yeah, don't worry. They kept the butcher, and it's still the best carne asada in town. Carne asada, pollo asada, steaks, and more. Groceries, snacks, soda, beer, liquor, they have it all at Pico Market. And if you spend $50, you get a free bag of ice. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, buy 1 pound of chicken, get another pound free. Only at Pico Market, 802 West Pico Avenue in El Centro. They're under new ownership. Same great carne asada, Pico Market.
Spartan Football 2004 on AM 1230 KXO. I'm Carol Buckley, John Driffel, and Matt Juleson here in the booth with us. And Flor Gonzalez, our producer-director in the studios. Spartan Football brought to you by Numero Uno. When you want the #1 charter for first-class transportation, call Numero Uno, serving all of Imperial Valley. Chris Campos will kick again. This one is deep. It'll be fielded and dropped at the 15. Picking it up is Kenny Taylor. Taylor carries it down to the 30-yard line before he's brought down.
In this third and fourth quarter, Carol, Baeza is 5 for 6 for 122 yards. So certainly showing his expertise as a quarterback. And more than just the passing, he's done an excellent job of being the field general, running this team with the different kinds of fakes that they run, with the different kinds of option, getting the ball at the opportune time to Shepard or Toomer. So he is an excellent quarterback and only a junior. That means Central will have to face him again this year and next year.
Spartans with a 1st and 10, spotted on the 30-yard line, their own 30. Carter and Sellers, the setbacks. Sellers again. Sean Sellers is showing me something tonight. A lot of grit, determination, big heart. You know, you're trailing 42-0. And he is driving, and
everything is in between the tackles. He's not trying to go wide on anybody. He's just running right at the heart of the Brawley defense, and he's picking up positive yards each time.
It is 2nd and 7. Again, Sellers right up the middle. Sellers picks up another 2. It'll be 3rd and about 5.
And we see Andrew Alexandra is now in, a senior who has not had any playing time tonight. He is now in the defensive backfield for the Brawley Wildcats. We also see Angel Gonzalez, a junior who's come in now to play a cornerback position.
It is 3rd and 5. Spartans. Sellers right up the middle. Sellers gets the first down as he crosses the 40. And Sellers, you got to smile about that. Sellers knocked Angel Gonzalez back 5 yards. Gonzalez thought he was going to make a tackle, and he ended up 5 yards back on his keister.
We'll have to have a measurement here, as once again the referee did not give a favorable spot to the ball carrier, and I'm not putting that out against Central. The Brawley players have not had favorable spots either.
Well, and not only that, but the officials gave the Spartans 2 yards on an incomplete pass on the spot, gave them an extra down. That, there was 5 downs in that one series.
Well, I'm sure this is all going to be brought up at their meeting this week, as they will discuss that. And officials make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And they look like they're going to call Sellers about an inch or 2 short of the first down.
It'll be 4th and an inch. Literally an inch.
And Central, I am going to assume, will go for this.
I think that might be a safe bet, a better bet than I made in the poker tournament.
And a quarterback sneak would be the safe call to make.
I formation, 4th and inches. And it is a quarterback sneak. And Singh gets the first down and about a yard. We should point out Joey Trejo is playing right guard for Erwin Medina. Medina got shaken up earlier.
And excuse me, Carol, but I'm not sure if that's Brawley's standard defense on short down, but they had the center uncovered, which means all the quarterback had to do was just field the snap. If he doesn't bobble the snap, he's going to get a first down.
Bentley goes out wide on the left on the 1st and 10. It is Taylor on a cross action, and Zay Shepard knows what to do with an open field tackle. He just planted Kenny Taylor. Zay Shepard came over, and that was textbook. Shoulder into the midsection and drove him into the ground.
Yeah, Zay Shepard, an excellent football player. He played on the flag football team of Dustin Driscoll and also Randy Andrews. Randy has since moved up to Brawley, but Zay gave Randy a concussion last year and knocked him out of the first Brawley Central game. And now they're together as teammates and going to school in Brawley.
2nd and 9. Sean Sellers looking for a little bit of room, gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. There's nothing else there. Andrew Alexandra in on the tackle. Well, is Randy Andrews playing for Brawley, John?
He was on the squad, but just using discretion is a better part of valor and doctor's opinion. He decided to not play football. He did have 2 concussions last year, both of them courtesy of Zay Shepard. He is now currently working out with Brawley's basketball team, and if he stays there for the year, I'm sure he'll play baseball as well. That's his best sport, is baseball.
3rd and 9. Singh back to pass. Got a little bit of time, but now he's running for his life. Stops, reverses field, still looking. He's got somebody open, Sellers, but he can't get him the ball. Now he fires downfield for Benny Carter, complete. And there's no flags. I can't believe Fran Tarkenton lives, and he wears number 10 for the Central Spartans.
Yeah, and that was Marty Muhammad that was running and chasing, and J.R. Creel chasing Stephen Singh. And Singh, if you remember on the previous play on the kick, ran down Pope and brought him down about the 25-yard line to save a touchdown. So he does have some speed, and once he got away from J.R. Carrillo, he was able to come back Central with some good crackback blocks, and that was a nice pickup, a nice first down for Central.
Well, what I had said earlier about the hands on the hips, looking down, well, that's changed. That has changed. From the eye, handoff is to Sellers. Sean Sellers pushes and picks up about 3. That's all Sean Sellers there. Mike Mohammed in on the tackle. Spartans playing for a little bit of pride right now. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Spartans want to score. They did not score against the Wildcats last year at all.
In either game.
In either game. They definitely want to score.
And Brawley just definitely wants to keep Central on the scoreboard with the goose egg.
Handoff to Sean Sellers. Sellers struggles forward and gets down to the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of about 3 more. And that will, well, in the last 2 years, the Spartans have scored 13 points against the Wildcats in 4 games. Total of 13 points in 4 games.
And here we'll see a 3rd and about 6 or 7.
3rd and 6. The ball is on the 30.
We would expect Central, if they do not pick up the first down, to go for it on 4th.
Clock is running. We're inside of 3 minutes. Pitch is back. It is to Kenny Taylor. Taylor looking for some running room, and there's nothing there. He is dumped at the 30. No gain. On the tackle was Andy Miramontes, and that'll bring up 4th and 6.
Carol, that time Matt Bentley hit a Brawley player, Andrew Fleming, so hard that his shoe came off. Excuse me, not Andrew Fleming, but Josh Ochoa. And now Ochoa is putting his shoe back on. He's lucky his foot isn't still inside that shoe. Bentley really laid the leather to him. Nothing dirty, just a nice clean block that hit him so hard his shoe just popped off.
We've got 2:20 to play. It is 4th and 6. Spartans have the ball on the Wildcat 30-yard line. Back to pass. A little bit of time is Singh. Fires downfield. It's for Platero. Caught for a touchdown. Platero got around Barkham. Barkham was pushing him, but Platero still got to the football, and the Spartans score. Anthony Platero with a great heads-up comeback on the football and make the catch for the touchdown play.
Yeah, I can't believe there wasn't a flag because, as you called it, the young man was holding him, grabbing him, pushing him, hanging on to him, and Platero showing excellent concentration. Just watched the ball into his midsection and cradled it, fell in the end zone for a touchdown.
It is the swinging gate, John. And now there's a timeout on the field. Brawley takes the timeout because they want to make some adjustments. We'll take a timeout before the Spartans go for the point after attempt. The score, Brawley 42, Central 6.
For RV service, go to El Centro RV Service and Supply, corner of Dogwood and Ross Avenue in El Centro. Don't let an RV issue dampen your spirits or your plans. They work on most RVs and trailers, even working with manufacturer warranties. Mobile service is available too. For your next RV repair, call El Centro RV Service and Supply, 760-352-2394. That's 352-2394. Or stop at the corner of Dogwood and Ross and El Centro.
If you know Jason Jackson, you know he's a hands-on person who gets involved and has been an El Centro City Council member for the past 9 years. Yes, Jason Jackson is running again and wants your vote for re-election. His leadership makes a difference, and he's proven himself that he's the right person once again to be an El Centro City Council member. His slogan has always been experience, leadership, service, and community support. On November 3rd, please re-elect Jason Jackson for El Centro City Council.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jason Jackson, El Centro City Council, 2020.
Spartan football on AM 1230 KXO, El Centro, California. Spartans finally get a score. First time in 2 years that they have scored. Last year shut out both games. It'll be a point after attempt. Will it be for 1 or for 2? Spartans shift out of the swinging gate into a real formation. The snap is back. The kick is up. The kick is good. With 2:07 to play in the football game, it is Brawley 42, Central 7.
For the past months, El Zarape Restaurant in Imperial has been offering curbside pickup, and they will continue until they are able to open indoors. You can still get your favorite Mexican food, like special quesadillas, carne asada and pollo asada burritos, taco plates, and more. In fact, their menu is huge, and the food is outstanding. To place your order, call El Zarape Restaurant at 760-355-4435. That's 355-4435. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Curbside pickup only.
The Central Union Adult School is ready to support your adult learning goals. We are the first choice for adults seeking to complete their high school diploma or wanting to learn English. We offer the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own high school diploma program. Contact our office for registration information, 760-312-7050, or look us up online and on Facebook.
Well, the Spartans finally put points on the board. 2:07 to play in the football game in the fourth quarter. The Spartans drive 70 yards on 11 plays. 9 of them are on the ground. Most of that with Sean Sellers running. The passing, Stephen Singh 2 for 2. The touchdown was a pass from Singh to Anthony Platero. 30 yards out for the score. And the point after attempt by James Bentley is good. That makes it 42-7. With the Wildcats leading, but very positive thing. I had commented earlier, the Spartans with their hands on their hips and looking down at the ground and reading body language that was not good. But then the Spartans come back and put together a 70-yard drive against the first-team defense of the Wildcats. That was not the second team.
Yeah, Brawley expecting a short kick as their deep man Barkham's on the 25-yard line, and all other players are up around between the 40 and the 50.
And another delay of game on the kickoff. John, we've commented the officiating this year has been some of the best we've seen. Tonight, for whatever reason, this crew does not appear to have been as involved in the game. With an extra down on the one series, a 2-yard mistake on a spot after an incomplete pass. It's been strange. There's the onside kick, and the Spartans say they have it. They do.
Yeah, the ball hit a Brawley Wildcat in the leg and bounced right to the Central Spartans, and that was number 51,
Armando Ponce. I don't have to look at a program to tell that's Armando Ponce. It's first and 10 Spartans. They have the ball on their own 49-yard line.
Excuse me, Carol, for stepping out of there, but Armando Ponce is the one that just a few moments ago had come off the field with an injury, perhaps, as you said, just had the wind knocked out of him.
So the Spartans, 1st and 10. They kept the ball out of the hands of the Wildcats. Handoff is to Sean Sellers. Sellers lowers a shoulder and plows down to the 50. He picks up a yard. And he is tackled by Andrew Alexandra. Also in on the tackle was J.R. Carrillo. It'll be 2nd and 9. The clock continues to run inside of 1:40. And if you're the Spartans, no, you do not stop the clock.
They do have all their timeouts left, but we don't expect them to use them. Carol, after this football game, Brawley's going to say it was probably the toughest 42-7 game they've been involved in.
Well, and they're going to have something to work on because this defense gave up points, and they're not going to like that. Rolling to his left on a little play action, it is Singh being chased for his life, running back, finally gets a block, fires downfield, and it's caught by Benny Carter at the 32-yard line. And Zach Morton, bless his soul, did you see what he did? He gave Stephen Singh the time. Morton ran 30 yards to finally get a block and give Singh the time to complete the pass. Zach Morton, you are an amazing young man. You can play on my team, Zach.
Centro showing a lot of heart right here. The game has already been decided, but these guys are playing like it's the 4th quarter of a tied Super Bowl game. It's good to see.
Inside of 1 minute to play. 1st and 10 Spartans on the Wildcat 32. Little play action, pass. It is knocked up in the air and goes incomplete. J.R. Carrillo almost had himself a pick.
Singh had completed 4 straight passes until then, but J.R. Carrillo dropped back into pass coverage and got his hands on that football. That will stop the clock.
That stops the clock with 47 seconds. The Spartans come out. Taylor wide on the right side. Bentley wide on the left side. Carter and Sellers in the backfield. Handoff is to Sellers up the middle behind a block from Benny Carter. Carries it down to the 28-yard line. Sean Sellers, yeah, he can play on my team too. Yeah, they're getting their butts kicked, but they're playing with heart.
Well, we have a timeout on the field, and I believe Central called it, although there was no motion by the referee.
Spartans do take the timeout with 36 seconds to play. We'll take a timeout. It is Brawley 42, Central 7.
There is nothing better than great customer service. Company that can help you with your projects, answer your questions, and provide you with the right material to get the job done. Imperial Trusted Lumber Company in Imperial takes pride in doing just that for the homeowner or contractor. They even deliver valley-wide. Imperial Trusted Lumber carrying hardware supplies from lumber, concrete, windows, and doors to nuts and bolts. Everything a contractor or homeowner might need. Stop by today, 701 East 2nd Street in Imperial.
8 Express in Imperial is your one-stop convenience store with full-service car wash, gas, and diesel. It's the place for all your snacks, cold drinks, and ice-cold beer. While you're there, get your vehicle washed and save $1 with 8 gallons of gas or diesel and get the 10th car wash free. Yes, 8 Express is your one-stop convenience store at corner of Highway 86 and 8 Road in Imperial.
Open 24 hours a day for your convenience.
It may be 42-7. But it's one of the better 42-7 games I've seen. One of the brighter spots is the way the Spartans did rally. You know, after, like I said, reading their body language, you know, just out of it, but then gathering some strength and coming back. Out of the shotgun, the ball's dropped. Singh picks it up, looking for somewhere to run, and he finally does run out of bounds. He was chased out of bounds by Kyle Kortson. The Wildcats have played their first team all the way, both offensively and defensively. And I'm not complaining. No, you got to do that.
Yeah, especially your defense. Now, it's not like Brawley has a small squad over there. They have about 33, 34 players.
And 20 of them are JV players, John.
Right, but those kids, they will be the varsity players next year.
4th and 9 from the shotgun. Singh Play action out of the shotgun, fires downfield. Again, it's intended for Platero. He's pushed down, but no harm, no foul. It goes incomplete. Courtson leveled Steven Singh. No harm, no foul. And, yeah, I think the officials want to go home.
Yeah, we'll just, and Courtson's hit on Singh. Singh was up in the air, and Courtson hit him as he was throwing the football, so he certainly was not coming in late. As Platero, once again, is running down the field, he's trying to fight off players and try to get to the football. And this time they didn't grab him, they knocked him down. But I think the officials feel that this game has already been determined, and so they're going to go ahead and give the ball to Brawley, and hopefully Brawley will take a knee, and this game will end in the next 25 seconds.
25 seconds to play. The Wildcats will put it in play 1st and 10 as they take over and downs. The ball is on their own 31-yard line. They lead it 42-7, and we're kind of hoping this will be the final play of the game.
Yeah, Brawley appears, well, Zay Shepard's calling a timeout, so we'll see if they're going to give him the timeout, or excuse me, Sam Toomer is. But the referees aren't any paying attention to him.
Nobody knows what the formation or the play is. They definitely will have something to work. They were a man short. That's the deal. And now they jump. That'll cost them the 5 for the illegal procedure. One of the down linemen who was late coming on the field was running. And then Toomer started in motion. And then Zay Shepard started in motion.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things going wrong on that. So if the officials want to use some judgment right here, they'll go ahead and mark off the penalty, start the clock, and just let this thing wind down and finish this game as we sit right now. But, well, whatever they did do, they did not move the football back, at least not yet. Now they have.
They moved it back. It's a 6-yard penalty. 6 yards on the illegal procedure call.
Well, the ref forgot his glasses. He was looking down and just missaw where he was.
Yeah, okay.
And Brawley is going to let the clock run out as the play clock was put into motion. And so.
And now the game is over. That's it. The game is over. The final score is Brawley 42, Central 7.
Your friends at La Fonda Bar and Grill would like to say thank you to their customers for supporting them during this time. They're doing their best to serve you your favorite Mexican dishes with curbside service. From enchiladas to chile rellenos, they're doing it all. Open weekdays 11 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3, and Sundays 8 to 2. Closed Tuesdays. Call and place your order. La Fonda Bar and Grill, 760-353-6450. That's 353-6450.
Are you in need of your high school diploma? The Central Union Adult School offers the GED, the high school equivalency test, and our own 135-credit high school diploma program for adults aged 18 and up. We are also your locally authorized Pearson and ETS testing center. And coming this fall, we are offering GRE testing as well. Call us at 760-312-7050 or visit us at cuhsd.net or on Facebook. You are listening to Classic High School Football on AM 1230 KXOL Centro. Tonight's game, originally broadcast October 1st, 2004.
Central Spartan football on AM 1230 KXO. The Spartans, well, the Wildcats kicked their butts again. 42-7 is the final score. As some good things to look at, some things you're definitely going to have to work on. The Spartans not really in this game at any point. And you knew in the first quarter, before 6 minutes is gone in the first quarter, the Wildcats put the ball on the ground 3 times, and they recover it every time. You knew it was going to be a good night for that, but that had nothing to do with it. The Wildcats just outplayed the Spartans up and down the field, both offensively and defensively, and that was the difference. The final score, Brawley 42, Central 7. It's Spartan football on AM 1230 KXOL Centro.
The best oldies on the radio.
1230